I know you guys think I'm strange, and maybe I am, but maybe it takes someone strange to fight something strange.
I'm with you.
Christopher Jackson directs The Beast Comes at Midnight, a 2023 low-budget werewolf movie. And oh boy, is the full moon high tonight. I'm feeling its rays. Okay, so let's talk about The Beast Comes at Midnight. What's it all about? It seems to be a style of Goosebumps type movie where it's probably aimed at a younger audience, a young, more family orientated horror movie. There's no real gore in this movie, there's no swearing, there's no sex, no real kind of like scenes of massive violence. It focuses on this young sort of teenage boy who's a little bit unpopular. He comes from a carny background and he does this sort of live stream, this podcast if you like, about strange phenomena. And it's kind of unpopular, no one really watches it. But he soon comes to face the fact that there may well be an actual werewolf in his town. A variety of killings have taken place, and evidence leads him to believe that it might be a werewolf. Now, he ends up having this kind of flirtation with this kind of popular girl from the more popular side of the social spectrum, so to speak, and together they have to kind of face the fact that yes, there is indeed a werewolf in the town and it may well be targeting them. What will happen? You will have to watch the movie and find out. Boy, that full moon. Jeez. Only joking. Okay, so let's discuss what I think works for this movie's favour. Now, if you are of a younger persuasion, here's a kind of Goosebumps style horror movie that you can probably watch with your parents' consent, because yes, it is kind of somewhat of a movie which seems to be aimed at a younger audience. It has younger protagonists, and as I say, is relatively bloodless. So yes, that if that audience is you, or you want to watch it with your kind of kids or stuff like that, this may well be a film to kind of check out like that. The movie has a sort of comedic tone to it. It's not an outright horror comedy, I would say, but there is a sort of lighter touch here. You've got a couple of genre faces. Michael Paré shows up as a sort of friend of this young boy's father, who sort of kind of guides him. And we also have Eric Roberts that turns up in a couple of scenes, who is also kind of like another kind of Takani. And, they add a little bit of, character, genre kind of characters and stuff like this to give you horror fans, oh, I know that guy type scenario. But they're kind of fun in the roles. I mean, they're both quite short roles, but nonetheless. The cast is kind of likeable. Maybe not the best actors, but they kind of do a fair job, I suppose. Obviously, they are mostly kind of young people. I did kind of quite like the little romance between our main character and this kind of teenage girl that is the more popular kid. I thought that was kind of a sweet little romance there without kind of ever going too far with it. But I kind of bought their kind of chemistry, and I thought the girl in particular probably came across the best in regards to kind of acting ability and things like that. But it was a sort of a sweet romance. The actual werewolf itself, we don't really see until the end of the movie, and it is realised practically. There's a little bit of CGI involved in the transformation, but it's a practically realised suit. I have mixed feelings on this suit, and we'll come on to it again in the negatives, but, there's at least an attempt here to have some animatronics on the face to kind of give it this kind of snarl and stuff, and, I guess I would prefer even a schlonky looking practical suit than a schlonky looking CGI monster, I suppose. So there's that, I guess. The movie's not overly long, I would say, so it probably, luckily, doesn't overextend itself, and it has a kind of hijinks element to it where we're following these kind of young people, and then, you know, you've got the bullies and stuff, and they kind of want to target this kind of guy and all the rest of it. So there's a kind of a coming of age kind of drama element to it as well. So if you're a fan of those style movies, again, you might find it, you know, a little bit to your liking. And we try to have a little bit of world building in regards to the unknown and other things that may well be you know, around in this kind of universe, other kind of supernatural threats. Let's talk about what does not work. Okay, so again, if you are looking for more of a hardcore werewolf movie with more blood and guts, this ain't gonna be it, because this is a bloodless affair. The werewolf attacks are, you know, very quick, bloodless. We're just going to see people getting dragged off camera and things like that. So it's not exactly a ferocious beast in regards to what we actually kind of see on screen. The werewolf appears late in the movie. You know, we see a couple of attacks, but it's all sort of, again, off screen. When we do see our werewolf finally sort of turn up, as I've mentioned, the suit is rather schlonky looking, and it literally just looks like a guy in a Halloween costume, to be honest with you. I mean, they have, as I said, they have tried to make a little bit of animatronics in the face, but it has this kind of like permanent snarl. You know, it just looks like someone's got like a hood on and things like this. It's not the best suit, to be honest with you. There's one or two like frames where it kind of looks okay, depending on the sort of the angle of the shot and stuff. But I think for the most part, it's probably more disappointing than it is impressive, I would say. As I've also mentioned, I think the acting is mixed, I guess you want to say, and our main character is this young boy. You know, he's sort of likeable, but maybe not the strongest actor, at least not this point in his career. And there's a couple of other kind of characters as well who, you know, the acting is just a little bit on the hammy side. Again, it's kind of, I guess you would say, it sort of airs as a family movie, more of a kids movie. Maybe this is kind of more styled into that sort of audience in mind, so it's a little bit more kind of pantomime to a degree. But yeah, it's kind of that. The other thing I would say, and maybe the main issue I have with this movie, is that it is really not a lot of werewolf in this movie. I mean, the threat of the werewolf is there, but the characters don't even know it's a werewolf until probably past the halfway mark. And the bulk of this running time is this kind of following these teenagers around, having this kind of little sort of romance and stuff, doing kind of going from place to place, talking to different people, and, you know, looking around this kind of museum of curiosities and things like this. It's not exactly what you probably want from a movie like this. I mean, I get you want to have some of that character building, I get, but I think the movie just spends too much time on this stuff and not enough on the actual werewolf. I think it would have behooved it to have werewolf attacks earlier, but we see more of it, and then we have more of a kind of a stalking element to it. The werewolf itself also seems to target the young girl, but there's never really an explanation as to why. In human form, he kind of comes up and sort of attacks her and sort of gets her scent. But why is he targeting her? I mean, what is special about her? It doesn't really ever go into any detail about this. So I just found this movie was, we just need the werewolf to be attracted to these people for reasons. So we'll just have him go after this girl for reasons, and that's just it. You've just got to accept it. So, you know, again, it's not a particularly deep film into how it's been kind of thought out and how the concept has been kind of executed. So overall, you know, again, it's possibly a fun movie for a younger audience, or if you want to watch it more of in a family setting. But I think it misses the mark on some occasions, and this makes it a below average movie for me without being a total car wreck. I will give it a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What were your thoughts? Please do leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.